Good evening, everyone. Please scan the QR code and do the event check-in. This will give you access to additional resources and information about events that we are running on Reactor, which are around similar topics to today's session. Also, you will be able to access links from today's session. I will share the event check-in link and the QR code again with the event ID in the Q&A section shortly. You need to enter the event ID after scanning the QR code. Please do keep an eye on the chat section for further details. Thank you all again for joining us today. My name is Rashmita and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor. This session will run over the next 60 minutes including Q&A. The session is being recorded and will be uploaded to our Reactor YouTube channel. I will share the link to our YouTube channel in the chat section soon. Today we are back with GitHub Action for Azure series. In case if you have missed the previous sessions, please visit our Reactor YouTube channel to watch all the recorded sessions. Quick word on a code of conduct. We display this at all Microsoft Reactor events that we run, and it's just a reminder to be aware of others. The key thing to take out here is to be respectful of other people's views, be understanding kind of differences, and the chat will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. Also, please keep your mics muted during the session. I would now like to welcome Vivek, our speaker for today's session. Vivek is a tech enthusiast and an open source contributor with around 15 years of experience in the software industry. He works at Microsoft as senior cloud advocate. But for now, I'll hand over to Vivek to begin the session. Over.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Now it should be.
Yes.
Okay. So thanks, Rashmita, for that introduction. So we are continuing our journey with GitHub Actions specifically for Azure, and previous sessions as I told you, we have covered a couple of things, and I will touch upon it again because of new joinees here. So before I even deep dive, this is me. I spent some years in terms of software development, did bit of DevOps, and founder and developer advocate DigitalOcean. Microsoft, I'm still developer product marketing manager, but I'm moving into new role, that is a cloud advocate from next week. So that's me, and you can visit the website. You can find all the related documents and code and other things, which is part of this session. Let me go to this. I just want to spend some time on the previous sessions, what we have covered and what we are going to cover in next few sessions. This is my simple GitHub repo with all the details available for you. So if you go to this GitHub repo, which I just shared, this is the one, and you can find various things. One is I have just launched a skilling challenge where you can learn on your own, and also do a couple of things through Sandbox and other things. If you just go and launch it and join and participate, you have some 10 hours of learning of GitHub Actions for Azure. There are a couple of learning modules on Microsoft Learn, so you can go back and do it. And apart from that, for people who have joined first time for this session, I've done deploying of apps to Azure Web Apps. There is repo details here, and also reference documentation and also recording. So you can use all these three to learn and to build it on your own and to figure it out. And from a Kubernetes and serverless containers and other things, I've already added all the reference recordings and available for you. So there are two sessions part of this series. One is today, we are going to see how to do GitHub and how to use GitHub Actions. In fact, with the machine learning models and how to build, train, how to deploy it, and also we will see from a database change how we can drive these things. But on the 30th, which is this Friday, we are going to focus on container scanning, and also we will see some couple of security related things, and also infrastructure as a code, how to build that out, how to use CLI and other things from this perspective. And by the way, I've also given you some of the hacks here, so you can go back and try it out, which is not part of any of my discussion here, which is not part of the learning skill challenge. So you just need to go here and you have to drive it on your own. And I will try and see if we can do a couple of session on how to build these things as well. That is something which is planning is underway. And from a today's discussion perspective, right? So disclaimer, I'm not going to talk about the ML, and how to train, how to build training models, what is Azure machine learning service, auto ML service, and all those things, because that is a different discussion altogether. Today's discussion is more from trying and understanding how exactly to use the GitHub Actions to build your workflows, to manage the deployment, which is nothing but ML ops. We are going to deep dive into all these things. I'm planning a series for this. You can follow the repo, and I'm going to talk about it more, what I'm going to cover in that series and other things. But for today's discussion, we will focus on the workflow file, which is required to deploy your code or changes to train your model to the Azure machine learning workspace and other things. Okay, so as you can see, every time whenever we have discussed from a Kubernetes perspective, from a container perspective, everywhere there was there was in a workflow, right? Workflow method, authenticate, we build and deploy, or even for Azure App Service, it was a similar thing. And for GitHub Actions with ML is also the same thing. You authenticate, you connect, you run something, you deploy. But there are pre-built templates available for you. There are other things which are available for you, so you can go back and drive these things. So a very simple discussion. Authentication, we have done this before. It's basically create a service principal to connect to the Azure, and you have to create a secret, and once you create a GitHub secret, you just need to upload. How to do that? The first step is already listed here. If you can see this, this is the command. I've just given you the command. There is subscription ID which you need to give here, and your resource group name. And once you run this command, there will be a JSON which is the output of this. Just copy the JSON and go into your uh, code or your GitHub repo and go to these settings and go to secrets here. Here it is. It's very simple, repo settings, and come to secrets, and you will see the secret already added. So you can add new repository and then just add the details here. So it's pretty simple and it's very useful because you're actually not providing any details. So it's very easy to create. As I told you, just go to the run this command to create a service principal. It's a very simple command, and once this command is updated, you will get the JSON output. Just copy the JSON and just post it here in the action secrets, and secrets available here. Okay, so now the first step is done. The first step is to get yourself added to the service principal to be added. The next step is to either create the machine learning workspace and connect to the compute target which is there. To understand all this, we will have a separate series for this where you will learn all the activities which is required to building the machine learning workspace at one place where everything is available for you. And then we need to submit and register, right? So these are the four things which we need to do. So let me go back and show you the workflow to build it, and then we will go through decode one by one. So this is a very simple workflow. Okay, so we have seen this workflow, how to do this, and it is very simple. Go to actions and create new one, and you will be able to do it. Very simple. Go to actions again, create new workflow, and you will be able to create a new one and use this. So this is already been built, so that I don't waste time in building this again. I'll tell you why. Let me show you this. Okay, so basically this workflow in the code. Okay, we have already seen on while push, there is push command to master. This is the part where you need to work on. These things is pretty common and we have already seen this before. The most important thing we need to build in the job is that, the checkout also we have checked. This is a simple action where it checks out the code and work on that code. And coming to this is where our machine learning activity happens, right? So basically it is to connect or create something. So it is to create the workspace. So when it comes to creating a workspace, if you go to this pre-built action, right? So we have seen couple of actions before, and this is very specific to AI ML workspace. And if you go to this, how do I go to that? I just need to copy this and go to github.com and slash Azure slash AIML. And if I go here in this code, you can see actions.yml. Just click on that YML and you can see the required things. So this is how you can actually build your workflow as well. So you need to understand this particular file pretty well to understand how you have to execute stuff. Okay, so basically this is simple. It is telling you to create a service principal. This is required. This is a required one. So if I go back to the code, it is required, right? Azure credentials is required. We did create that secret. We did added that secret to connect to the Azure portal. That we have already seen. Now, if I go back here, it is true. It is always required, and this is an input action. Okay, this is an input action, and this is what you need to provide. Okay, and then there is parameter file. So it is false. It is false, but it's very misleading as well, because this particular action, you know, will look for workspace.json file in your code base. If it is not there, it will throw errors. But it is not something, the parameters file, is not something which, why they have not mentioned true is because if you have different name, then you have to give parameter underscore file. If you're using the same name which is there in your code base, then you don't need to give provide. So you need to understand the difference, difference in required, true and false. This is obviously misleading. This needs to be updated. It's a very good pull request as well if you want to contribute to open source. And then there is run. There is runs on docker file. What does this mean? This means this is where the entry point is for this action to run. So when I go back to this workspace, AML workspace, right, and you can see there is docker file. This is what it will run when you call this action. So this is what it will drive. Okay, so understand this YAML. It's very important. One is credentials and the other one is parameter files. Let us go back here. So all we are doing is connecting or creating a workspace. So when it comes to creating workspace, you need to provide workspace details, and that is how you can do it. So if you go back to the code here, there is Azure Cloud Azure. There is workspace.json. I have provided the details here. So this is the details of the workspace, and you can definitely take a look at this. And then there are a couple of other details which is also there: compute and register model. All these are nothing but the name of the workspace. So let me go back here. Okay, let me go back here to this. Okay, what it will do here is, if it is not there, if the workspace is not there, it will create a new workspace. Okay, so this is what the Docker file will do. Okay, there is the code it will do, and then there is connect or create compute target. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you want to create a compute target, which is nothing but either it could be the AML cluster which is required for you to run the machine learning compute training, right? Training stuff. So this is a simple action, and you can see it has a different action which is not equal to workspace. It is to create compute, and you can see the similar details as well. If I go to the github.com and slash the same thing, Azure slash AML compute, and if I go back and go back to the actions.yml, it's the same thing. Again, it is talking about the parameter file, and this is what the compute.json is. This is again true and true. This is required file, and this is something it will look for in your code base as well. Okay, so this is very simple. This we have already discussed here, and here it gets interesting. Okay, so you are supposed to submit a training to the Azure machine learning, right? So if you go to this action, which is to submit a training and run the training model, this is very different. Okay, so very interesting as well, because uh, this particular YML which is there has outputs. So there is input. We did discuss about inputs, which is credentials and parameter files and various things, but it has output, because this particular action has a lot of outputs which we need to make use of in next steps. Okay, so when I how to use these outputs. When you run this particular input, there is an output which is part of it, and for each of those things I capture those things and I use them in different format. So where do I use it? Register models. Okay, if you see the register model, I am using it. Where am I using it? So this is a separate action, but where am I using it? Steps. I'm calling these are all steps, right? In a job, these are all called as steps. And if you see AML run, which is the name or ID of this, and then I'll dot outputs, I'm providing the output, and I'm taking the ID for runner ID, and then there is experiment name. This is the experiment name. I'm capturing it to make sure I provide the details of the experiment name, which is the output of this specific action in this specific step. So these are dependent to one another, but the output of this is easily captured through this kind of command which you need to provide in the GitHub Actions. Okay, so when you are designing this workflow, you need to make sure that you are giving right set of things. And the same thing if you see, right? So uh, I'm providing similar stuff in the register model, and then other things where I'm deploying the model, right? The actions are the same, but if you see other things, right, most important, everywhere it is used Dockers. A couple of places we use different things. There is not always Docker. There is we will see for the database, it is Node.js script which runs. Okay, so we will see that. So this is this is a deployment model. So we have built it. So basically credentials is important here, and understanding of different actions which are available for registering, for training, for connecting to your workspace, connecting or creating your compute targets and other things. So you need to understand each of these actions and what parameters you need to use or what parameters we need to provide. This is how you use outputs. Let me go back here and to show you the actions, right? So, why I'm not running this, it's because it takes 1 hour to complete this action. And if you see almost 1 hour, 20 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll just resubmit this and show you this is my this is my workspace, basically the one which I've run already, and it has already run one, and you can see it has completed it. It is basically training and other things. So this one, what we will do is we'll just give it one more try and see what I'm just rerunning this job just to make sure we run a deployment 2. We run second training update. So it runs on the same thing, and you can see a couple of things here. It set up the jobs, and it actually, if you see this, it takes all the required Docker first. It actually downloads all the required thing. If you see, it was to build the Docker file, right? So that is what we are doing. And register model, it registers the model. This is about building the Docker file. So that's how it is. Let it run, and there will be a second runner here, and you can see that. Okay, it is running. It has connected and created something. Now it is submitting. So this will take a lot of time, so let us not worry about this. So if I go and refresh this, you can see it would have done runner 2 would have come here, and it just started to queue. So it will start running. It takes a lot of time to run this. So this is how you can run it. So I can keep running this changes. Whenever I make changes, I can keep running this, and you will be uploading new models and new trained models, right? So this is how you can use ML. So it's pretty simple. You have to authenticate first, and then you have to connect to the workspace, create compute or connect to your compute, submit the training, and the way we did that. And then there is a deployment, right? Deployment has two parts. One, you obviously go and register it in the registry, and also create container registry and upload the container, and then you deploy the model and create an endpoint for that, and you use it. I'll not go in detail of that because it itself is a huge discussion, so I'll not spend much of that time. So this is how you can do this. Now coming to the deployment of DB. DB also has a workflow. It is very simple workflow. I know there was a question before I started the discussion. There was a question on how I can build a workflow to deploy to multiple databases. The same changes could be I might have same kind of a table, and I want to make sure it is deployed in different places. We can use multiple workflows, and I'll show you how you can do it. And authentication wise, we have already done this. This is a simple step. This is a common step for any workflow you do with respect to Azure. Okay, so this is very common. And then there is deploy to database. So what we need to do first is we need to go back here and create a database, which is Azure database for MySQL. Azure database for MySQL. And when you go there, you can just create. and you can either choose single server or flexible. We'll go with single server just for demos, but you can real ones, production oriented are these ones. Okay, so basically I'm giving a resource group. It's a simple resource group. We've already done this GitHub Actions. In most of our activities we have done, um, we have these, and then we will use central US. We'll configure the storage and other things. We'll use the basic one, and then 5 storage. We don't need so much. I can give it 5. I don't need to auto grow and all those things. Locally redundant, recover from data loss within the region. We can also use that, and then okay. Then I need to give a username. So I'll give Wikibytes. I need to give a password. We will give reactor 28 at reactor 28 at. Okay, so I'm giving the password. I don't need all these things. Review and just go ahead and create it. It's all fine, and just create. So I'm just creating a database and MySQL database now. And after this is created, I need to add a database and create a database within this specific server. Um, and then we will use that for making changes, right? So we will go back here to my repo. I have a repo to make the database change. It's a simple repo. There's nothing here. I'm just adding code and adding stuff here. So let us go and create a new file, and we call it as data.sql. And then what we will do is we need to uh, add a database activity, right? So I have a simple one. um, this is the kind of a change which I want to add. I'm creating a table, some adding some table name and other things, and then just putting it out and committing it. So this is there. But most important thing which you need to note here is I'm just adding the data.sql file with couple of things, right? With what I need to use and what to do, the steps, right? And while this is there, I've also created, as I told you, I've also created on this repo, I've added a secret. Okay, so the secret is already there, Azure credential. This is very common, and we have used this credentials almost in all of our discussions in last uh, 2 weeks, I mean last 3 weeks when we are doing this. So it's pretty easy to do it. Now I have data ready, I have this ready. Now we need to create actions, right? So to go back here and to create actions, I need to first I need uh, connection strings from the database. So let's see if database is deployed. It will take some time to deploy. Let's wait for it to deploy. While this is happening, we will see YAML file as well, which is the GitHub Actions, right? Most important thing, again, we have seen this. This is very simple. Every GitHub action has this, and we are creating a simple job to build, run on some place. This is the runner which we want. Until now, we have used the Linux. Now I'm using Windows. Nothing changes here. The checkout action is very common. We need to use that for almost all the GitHub actions we run. And then there is Azure login. Again, credential to login, and then you connect to MySQL server and server name, connection string, and data file. Right. So if I go back here and see what are the other options which are available to me. Go to github.com/, right? Let us go to the actions.yml. Okay, so now here, if you see, is its input server name, same thing. It requires server name, connection string, username, password if you're giving, and then descriptions and SQL file path, which is true. It is always required to make changes, and then it runs node 12 library main.js. What is this? This mean? This mean is you have to run node code in MySQL code. If you go to here, there is library. In library, run main.js. This is the code which is going to be executed before running this GitHub Actions. Okay, so this is how it is designed. So okay, let us go here. So now we need to design the, we'll copy this. This is my server name, right? So we'll copy the server name and go to the code and update the server name here. Okay, and we need to create Azure MySQL connection string, right? So this is required. So this is not updated in our code base, right? Where is the code base for deployed? Yes. So we will go here into the settings, secrets, and create a new one and give this connection string, and then we will go back here to my Azure, and there is connections strings and connection security. First, what we will do is we'll go to connection strings. We will copy this. We'll copy this, and then we will go to my code base and paste it and say your database name. So database name is reactor. That is what we have given in the code, right? So if you go here, I'm using reactor. So I'll go here and make it as a reactor, and password, we have given the password as reactor 28 at, right? So that is today's date, and reactor and at is the password. This is how you add a secret for connection string, right? So you have added a secret and now it is updated. Now what we will do is we will go back to this and also go to the connection security, and we will say allow access to Azure services. So basically there is a firewall. I need to update this one and save it. This needs to be updated if you want to connect from external source. It registers the IP and connects to this. And there is SSL enabled, so I need to disable that as well. Okay, this is yet to be refreshed. Okay, I will disable that as well. Let me disable it. Okay, I've disabled it. I have done those things. Let's go to connection strings. A simple way, let us use Cloud Shell to connect to the database. How do I connect to the database? There is a storage I'll create. So this is to connect to my database, right? So just to see what's happening in the database when you run a GitHub action. So what happens here, right? So let us see this. So let us create a storage, and we can connect with this command. This is a simple command to connect to your database. It is connecting to my terminal. Just give it a minute. Okay, now it is there. right? So let me make changes. The first change I will make is change the host, which is Wikibytes, right? .mysql, which is the server name, right? Which is the server name, and you can see it at the top. And I'm using the same thing, and you can see UID. The user ID is, again, I have used the same thing so that it's easy to remember as well. Okay, we'll give that same stuff, and then just go here. It requires password to log in. Access denied for Wikipedia at this thing. Why so? We did enable this. We did create the firewall security. Allow access to Azure services. SSL is disabled. Did I miss anything? Oh, password is wrong. Let's see. Let me come back to this connection string. Did I give anything wrong? Host is wikibytes.mysql.database.azure. User Wikibytes is correct. Did I miss any step in between? No. This is the simple step. I have mentioned password, yes. Why it is missing? Did I miss something here? Settings wise. So admin login is the same. Let me go to the security. Current IP is already added. It's yes. Should I enable this? Let me see this. There is something missing. Let's wait. Oh, now it says require SSL connection is required, so that is why I disabled it. Disable it, save it. Just give me a minute. So demo codes are not with me. So let me see. No. Now it is saved. No, this has to be this allow access. This is a firewall. Okay, now it updated. Something wrong with my setting. Did I miss some setting somewhere? me add this successfully and see if I can run this. No, this is a new IP address it is giving. Every time I run that, it is giving the same IP address. Let's try and add this and see. What file name? Okay, anyways, design, you can say client, maybe it's not empty. Okay, let me do this now. It's still not taking. Oh, it's sorry, it is just updated. Something is missing. Okay, anyways, this is how you can add though, but it should be added here. So since I don't have the access to this, my code will not run. So let me see, where did I miss this? Azure database for MySQL. Did I miss anything while I created? Let's see. Okay. And then I gave all these details. GitHub Actions will say Kubernetes 2. For backup, central US configured basic one with less storage. Next is data encryption, not required, not required. I didn't miss anything. What's it failed with validation missing? What did it fail for? What was missing? What did we miss? Let's previous changing basic options, my reset section options. Oops, we missed their names. Sorry. I'll give a different name, and I'm using the same password. Okay, let's go and see this. So I'm just trying to debug. I don't know why it is not taking. What did I miss this time? And from a basic perspective, password does not match. Wow. Am I giving it right? Or I haven't missed this one? Okay, now let's go back and see. Okay, now it is all fine. We'll create and see this one now. Anyways, this is getting created. While this is getting created, let me show you what exactly happens at the backend. I did run this before coming to the talk. We did run DemoDB. So this was a GitHub, same thing. I did run same code, in fact, and it did work at that time. It did update, but I don't know why. Let's wait for this to run. I will see what it is missed. So by the way, it's the same thing. So we'll have to just um, just run this particular uh, workflow. So if you see the code, let me go back to this code, GitHub workflow. Nothing changes here. It's all only one action which is required. The same thing for Postgres as well. There's only one thing which you need, and you need to just give the right set of names here and then execute it, and you will be able to execute. This is the same data.sql what we have, and then log out, right? So um, nothing really changes here. The action is simple. It just goes and updates. So some of one of them asked the question, how do I design this for multiple activities, right? So you can go here and go to actions, uh, create new workflows, add new workflows, one workflow for um, MySQL and other workflow, not here, but need to create another workflow for Postgres SQL, and the other workflow for blob storage, and you make use of it. So basically you need to create three different workflows, maybe the same data.sql you're using to upload. You just need to create data.sql and then just upload it. Nothing really changes there. So it's very simple to design it. All you need to do is make those changes which is required and just run it. For Postgres it is quite different. For blob storage is quite different, and then for MySQL it is quite different, right? So the actions are different, but it uses the same file. You just update one file, and you can see that you'll be able to run these actions in all the three different workflows you're going to create. And the methodology to do that is the same for all the workflows. It is authentication, it is deployment. This is the only thing. So you don't need to do authentication all the time. Once you have created it in one of the repo, once you have created the secret, you don't need to do that. You just deploy, you make use of that secret dot thing. So let me go back here and go to thing. This is the one which is there. Let us do this and see whether we missing it. Let me go to connection security. I don't need this. Disable SSL. I'm saving it. Let this complete. So it will just show me an updated. While it does, we will connect using this code. It's still updating. Let it update. Once it updates, we will go back and see how exactly this works. If there it was still failing, then I would have missed some step which I'm not able to recall. So let's see. It's taking some time to update it, so maybe it did not update when I did the last time. Okay, now it is successful. So let me go to connection string, and I'm going to use the same code. Let us first update mysql database.azure.com, right? So what we have to give here is wiki bytes 2. Okay, and my admin name is wiki. I'm connecting to the database server wiki bytes 2. Oh, I'm still getting this error. I have no idea why this error is coming. It did work. Or it taking some time to connect. Did I? No, this is not done. Let's see this. Is it? Did I make a mistake here? It should. Let it wait. So while I'm doing this, if you have questions, you can definitely ask me the questions. It's pretty much the same. Now it says the client IP address. This is not allowed to this connection. Now if I go and say yes, it is going and talking to the database. I missed something when I create this probably. Okay. Oh. Anyways, this is I've done this before. I don't know why, what's wrong with this. Let's go back to my code itself and see where the code is. DemoDB. So this is not required. So let me go back and show you the action itself. So when I run this action, this is basically the simple way, it does execute it and run and connect to it. I'm not able to connect to it because of some error, but it should run and execute the SQL file on the target DB, and it is definitely going to create that table there and show you the database. And this is a simple command, a simple thing which I'm doing. And if you see, whenever you make in production and other things, you need to add right set of things and keep updating this. uh, you should not run the same thing. Obviously this is a really bad one. You need to give if create table, if does not exist, then go and create. You should make sure that you have the right set of uh, commands which you give here, right? So that is one thing. And coming back to this one, yes, I'm planning a series. While today building all the demos and other things for ML, I thought, okay, this is a very nice series for all of us. And obviously, this will cover everything. I'll just make sure that I'll publish the calendar, and we will obviously get together and have a discussion and other things. We'll definitely go into each of these and execute it from a understanding perspective. Regression models, we have already seen recommenders, but we'll also see more from how to do it from Azure and other things, and NLPs, and some. I thought, okay, we'll also focus on some real world applications as well. So we'll spend some time there. I'll share that calendar soon, and we will catch up on that. And coming back to this, as I told you, we are running this skilling challenge. So Just go back there and take up those challenges and learn through modules. There is already sandbox, as I told you, to play around and to do all these stuff. The one which I did as well, that from a database perspective and other things, it's all available out there. Okay, so make use of that. Any questions? If you have, let me know. I don't know why databases it's not connecting to the database. I'll have to debug it more now. But while that is a separate thing, any other questions uh, people have? Any questions? Oh yeah, somebody has suggested connection string password. Uh, it will ask for the password, in fact. So let me try this out. Okay, let's try. Um, it should ask for the password, in fact, but wait, this is great. This was solved. It's a wrong thing which I did. Uh, it's solved though. Great stuff. It should prompt me for the password. No, it actually did not prompt me for the password. It actually prompted me for the help. In fact, sorry. Um, no, it should prompt. It should prompt. So this is not the right one.
Can you try once disable this option in the connection string and add your client IP?
This one?
Allow access to Azure services. Can you disable that and just add your IP in the firewall
Sure.
list?
Let me do that. But when I say Azure, no, it should still add it. But yeah, this might work. Um, let's see if this works. Great. We can still demo stuff. No, there's something.
Update is in progress.
Oh yeah, it's still in progress. Just wait for a minute. Yeah, let's wait. Try now. Uh, I think it's not updating or something. It's taking some time to update or refresh. Some network environment may not report the actual IP facing under. There's something missing here because this did work a while back. So I'll have to debug it more why this is happening. But that's a good try. In fact, adding this IP address and seeing and disabling access. This also we did try. Anyways, any other questions on GitHub Actions? This is this is just to connect to your database and execute it, execute a command, and that is the code which is there in the GitHub Actions. So, uh, any other questions you have from an actions perspective? Anyone? No questions? Okay, I think this video will anyways will be uploaded and we will anyways see we'll on 30th we will see how to resolve this issue. Obviously the database issue on 30th we will do the demo for that and see how to execute this one. And server links, check-in links, you'll get all the details with respect to the GitHub repos and other things which is there with the recording and other things. So please go through that and we will we will send you the details through event check-in link and server link.
Thank you, Vivek, for the session, and thank you all for joining us today. Please feel free to scan the QR code displayed on the screen and do the event check-in and give us the feedback about today's session. It will help us to choose our topics that better suit our audiences. Also, please visit our Microsoft Reactor Bengaluru meetup page for more upcoming sessions. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your evening.